Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest today, Debora Luzi. Writing content is so important in the entrepreneurship world. So I'm really looking forward to a conversation with Debora. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. We are streaming live on mspnewsglobal.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're also on the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many more. And we're also on the Business Innovators Radio Network. So let's bring in our incredible guest, Debora Luzi. Hey, Debora, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
Hi, Mark. Hello, everybody. So pleased to be here. Very excited.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you, Debora. Writing content is vital, whether that's on our social media, on our websites, on our email lists. How did you get into writing, Debora?
Try to make it really short, but I always loved writing, Mark, but I somehow was always dismissed for my writing. When I was younger, my teacher was like, Debora, I cannot understand your writing. You're too creative. You're too imaginative. And my husband cannot understand your handwriting. And then, I always used to write diaries when I was very little because I went through a bit of challenges in my childhood. So my diary really became my best friend. And then throughout my life, I wrote a book when I was 20 about my traveling. And then the book was stolen. And obviously there was no computer at the time. So I lost completely the book. And somehow I felt that I wasn't meant to write, Mark. I was like, this is not for me. And then I went into corporate and I was doing marketing, and my boss was like, oh, your writing is just too informal and we need to write in a different way. So again, my writing was dismissed. So I thought, that was it. Buried under the carpet. I'm not good at writing, until I started my own business. And I realized that I had to show up, Mark. There is no hiding behind a website, behind a link. So I had to start to really create my own content. And I made a lot of mistakes, but I also made a lot of good things. So that is when I started to realize that, clients were coming to me, people were attracted to my what I had to say. So I started to realize that maybe I wasn't that bad at writing. There was something that I could teach. And that is when I really, started to teach people how to write content in a very, very different ways. I don't teach templates and structure and all of that. So this is how I really felt. I remember there was a particular moment, Mark, when I wrote a post and I had a lot of comments on it. And people were like, oh my God, you always inspire me. I just can't believe it. But then there were people messaging me saying, you spelled a word wrong and I'm really not sure what you mean. You can hear my accent. I'm not English. So I had a very pivotal moment where I was like, oh my God, I need to be better at writing. I am, but then there was the other side. I was like, you're already good. And that is when I dropped everything that I was doing and I started to really teach content and believing that I was already good. So, yes.
Entrepreneurs can struggle with writing, and I totally resonate with that, Debora. I'm lucky I've got writers, copywriters that do lots of my work for me. but on social media, I like to write my own posts. So I always write from the heart with emotion, add value to the reader. But you always get that one or two people will pick out the one or two, or in my case, it could be a lot of grammar mistakes. But I'm a big advocate of get your content out there, even if there's that little error or grammar mistake in there, because someone will always pick fault. So I make an habit now of when I'm doing my post of at the bottom, to all of the grammar police, I have written this post from myself, from my heart, so excuse any of the grammar mistakes in there. So I totally resonate with that.
I mean, now we have Grammarly, so we, I don't think we can make so many mistakes. But yes, definitely.
Well, I don't use that, so I do make mistakes. So what do you think is missing in the content writing industry, Deborah?
So there is quite a lot. And this is really what I want to bring in with my teaching, Mark. I see a lot of detachment from content. So people write content and they completely detach from what they write, from the emotion, from how they feel, because they think they need to put on a content show. They need to be liked, they need to be accepted, they need to use the right words. And there is a lot of polished content out there that speaks and say, a lot of people are preaching, and there is just this really distance when I read a lot of posts, especially on LinkedIn, because people think that LinkedIn needs to be very professional, but actually things are changing on LinkedIn, because now people are sharing their stories, they're sharing their journey, and they're sharing the picture of their dogs. But the problem is that people find it, content, Mark, is one. It's even more difficult than selling. Because people learn, they say, oh my God, I'm learning how to sell. They go into sales conversation. They learn so many things in business, so many techniques, but when they have to come and write down their content, they write it and then they read it again and then said, oh, Mary might not like it. John is going to judge me. Oh, my ex is on my social media, is going to kill me if I say this. Oh my God, my mother-in-law is going to think this. And people go into this panic mode and they start to really strip, whatever they write to please other people, to write in a certain way that they think resonate with their audience, which is the total opposite. And people start to detach. And because for me, content, Mark, is a resonance, is energy. I don't know if because I'm Italian and I think content like a piece of music, a piece of like crescendo and andando, where the people that read feel something when they read. So it is important that the readers, like the author, like us, the people that write, connects to the reader through the words and make them feel something. They don't speak at them like, you need to do this and you need to do that. Do you feel you're struggling in your business? And it's all speaking with that kind of really distant tone. So this is one of the things that is missing for sure.
Another tip that I do a lot, Deborah, a lot of people tend to use I a lot in their copy. And I always try to take the I out and change it to you or your. So you're talking to your target audience rather than just talking about yourself. So that is one thing I try and do.
Yeah, you need to do a bit of both. And there needs to be a little bit of both in the content, but as you said, exactly, because some people only go I, some people only go you.
Yes.
So it is very important that we mix the I and the you, because that is when the connection happens, is when I, you come together and we feel through me, through my experience, you feel me, and then I bring you into the content. And then you think, oh my God, this woman, she really gets me. So absolutely. Then it's, it's the I think in the you, in a balance together.
I agree totally. What is the difference in the way you teach content to how others may teach it, Debora?
So first of all, I don't teach templates. I know that there is a lot of content, places, content teaching where people say, okay, this is my template. Put your signature, just change the offer, and then, just go with it. This template has made me millions of dollars. And we cannot use, this method because people, first of all, the energy is different. Second, people don't really understand. Next time a person doesn't have a template, they don't understand how to connect to their audience.
Yes.
If they don't have the template, they're like, oh my God. And that is when people stop writing because they say, oh my God, she gave me all the templates. I've used them. Now what do I do? And writing, I teach the really ingredients of connection.
Very
I teach
important.
Yes, I teach you really how to use feelings in your content, how to build that relationship between, the readers and the authors. And I teach how to use vulnerability as well a lot in content in a way that, it doesn't feel like you're a victim, but it feels like transformative and really life-changing for your readers. Of course, there is some teaching that I do. I teach some persuasions, which, it's normal. It's not manipulation. It's just the way I see it is I teach that like people when they write to always make the reader think and get to that moment in life that can really change their decision in a positive way. They can really impact their life in a positive way. And the other things,
connection.
yes, and the other things that I teach, Mark, and this is a like I make people meditate before writing content.
Good idea. I meditate a lot.
Amazing. Yes, I created a beautiful meditation because my background is in healing, and I did a lot of healing, NLP coaching, and I had my own clinic. So I help people to connect to these two centers, which are the source of our intuition and the source of, our creativity, love, and bringing them together into the mouth, into the expression. So it's a very, very powerful meditation, and we get together and we really brainstorm. And so I bring the spiritual into content as well. When I teach content as well, we do healing of your communication, of your throat, because a lot of people don't write content because they are scared to be seen. They're scared to fully express themselves. And when we free, our chakra, when we free our energy, when we free the blockages, maybe like when we were little, somebody told us, shut up, don't say a word.
Yes.
That was me, Mark. I remember confronting my father when I was very young. And it took me a lot of courage. And it just, with one word, he said to me, Debora, just don't say a word. What you say, it does not matter. It's nonsense. And I was 12 years old. And in that moment, I was like, boo.
I think as well, when you do share your emotions and vulnerability, people do connect to you a lot better because you become more relatable, don't you, Debora?
Yes, completely. Through our experiences, we can really motivate and empower others. And I think it really hurts me to see Mark so I am part in a lot of communities, a lot of groups, and I talk to a lot of people, and showing up, it's one of the biggest fear that people have. And it is something that they completely think, what I hear all the time, people say, what I have to say has been already said. What I have to say is not important. Who am I to say this? My story is, Mary, she has a more dramatic story than I have. This is really content in the end, Mark, is not about the strategies. It's about what you believe about yourself.
Yes.
How free you feel in your full expression of who you are and, what you do.
And like you mentioned, it's important for sales. Definitely your copy has to be great to convert into business as well, Debora. Debora, we do need to go to a commercial break, so please stay where you are. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Part 1 of Brilliance Business TV. We're in conversation with Debora Luzi, and we have been discussing the power of content writing. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Stephen Buckner, and just wanted to tell you I support the Dreamweaver project. It's a great project where, artists such as myself will be able to come together and basically collaborate and to have a retreat to feel accepted and welcome. And that's something that artists here and around the world could always benefit from. So I just want to say, please support the Dreamweaver project. I think it's for a great cause, and I salute all the independent artists out there and artists that are signed as well. And have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV. We're in conversation with Debora Luzi, and we have been discussing the power of content writing. My next question, Debora, what advice would you give to someone who may be just starting their business?
Right. So there is something that I always say to my students and to my clients. Just start to show up with whatever you got.
Yes.
I do a lot of teaching on messaging. So I really help also people to get very clear on their message. And I want to tell you, people said, I get clear on my message and then I show up and then I do this. There is never going to be a time where you're going to know, I'm sorted. This is what I'm going to do, X, Y, Z. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is going to be my business, my logo. This is my brand. This is everything. I'm going. We are constantly evolving. So what I always say, if you got 20% of clarity, just show up with that 20% of clarity.
Yes.
I remember, Mark, when I started, I had not a clue. I showed up with my passion. I was like, oh my God, I just had this idea. I want to do an event. And I'm going to empower women to do X, Y, Z. Do you want to join us? And I was just taking my audience into my journey. My content was not polished. Now I know some of the strategies and I teach some. But at the time, I didn't know. And people were like, oh my God, they were excited. So share who you are, what you do, even share your journey. Don't go live on social media when you say, hello, this is my book. This is my website. This is my offer. There you go, buy it. And people are going to go like, who are you? Where did you come from? But show up and share the journey with them, even if you're not clear yourself. And people think this is going to damage yourself. It's going to massively help you to build a connection from the very beginning.
I have to agree. When I first started, I shared a lot of my journey, some of the steps I was taking, trying to add tips so that people could learn from me. And we're never perfect, Deborah. It's about showing up and just keep on going, even in the beginning stages, so people can see and evolve with you through your journey. My next question: what is your vision for yourself and the world?
The vision for myself is to really take my business even like bigger, more around the world, to empower more and more people to speak up, to show up, to heal their voice, to heal their fears around not fully owning their writing and speaking voice. We live in a time, Mark, where I did a post yesterday and I said our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, they would die to be us. We have so much power in our hand to lead the world, to speak up, to go out there and say, hey, I got this, I can change the world. And so we need to take this power into our hand. We need to stop being in our head and thinking, oh my God, people are going to think I'm stupid. People are going to think this orange top is not going to look good. People are going to think that what I'm writing doesn't make any sense. And we need to stop and take a lift to our heart and speak from there, like you said. And this is my vision, especially for entrepreneurs. I know so many people that have an amazing business and they don't shout out about it.
Yes.
They just hide behind a website and a link. And I'm like, go out there, own your voice. This is how we change the world. We want to create transformation. So transform yourself first. Be the leader of owning your voice and who you are. And then we go and change other people. We need to go first, always.
And you can inspire people and really help people to grow and move forwards in their own journey by the power of using your voice and using the power of words. What has been one of your biggest challenges, Deborah?
There's been quite a few. Definitely, Mark, it was owning my voice in the online space. Now people think I'm this super extrovert woman with big earrings and, that shows up and talks about herself, and I sell all the time. I'm different. But I wasn't like this, Mark. I grew up in a very small village in Italy. I grew up from my family wasn't very poor, but was rather poor. We struggled. I struggled with my confidence. I was very shy. I was a people pleaser. And when I went online, I thought I needed to be like seven-figure Mary.
Yes.
And she was so polished. And I thought I needed to be like Mark or like John. And, so I was like, I saw people posting and owning their voice. And I'm like, I remember writing and then deleting everything and couldn't sleep. And I was like, I want to say something, but I couldn't. And so this was my big challenge. And to every day, slowly, like, putting my hands up and say, I got something to say. Sorry. Yeah. And then maybe hide. So, but then finally, I took my space, Mark. And I'm here to stay. And I'm here to make a massive impact because my voice is just here to be heard.
You are making a massive impact, Deborah, and you're helping people for them to make massive impacts as well. Now, we are coming to the end of the show, Deborah.
Yes.
Time goes so quickly.
I know.
I know you have an incredible content writing challenge on the 20th of June. Tell us all about this and how people can get involved.
Thank you, Mark. This is my work for I believe this is my work for the world, Mark. This is a 5 days together. This challenge has been taken by over 2,000 people all over the world. It has helped people to find their voice, to show up online. Every day I give a prompt and I help people to embody one personality. And they write from their personality. And there is people they've had 11 million views on their post. We had people starting to write books. We had people sharing their story for the first time. It's not about strategies. Only one day, it's about strategies. And in fact, some people sold their program on that day. But it's a journey within, Mark. And that's why I deliver it 3 times a year. And we have people from all walks of life joining because it's life-changing. You're going to realize the content, it's energy. It's about your freedom of expression. And it's not about 2 words put together because they have to. So this is really my mission for the world, to invite people to join and find their voice so that they can really market and connect to their audience.
I would encourage everyone that has resonated with Debora, who wants to improve their writing content skills, to share their voice, to get to the next level, to help build their business, to join the Content Writing Challenge on the 20th of June. It's at deboraluzi.com, Content Writing Experience. You may want to just say your website address for the audience, Debora.
Yes, my website is deboraluzi.com. So very, very simple, www.deboraluzi.com. So yes, and if they want to join, I will be amazed, really delighted to take everybody onto this journey, because it's a journey.
deboraluzi.com. Debora, thank you so much for being my guest today on Brilliance Business. I've really enjoyed having a conversation with you.
Thank you for having me, Mark. This has been a pleasure, and it's been so quick. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine. You have been watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.